Good evening, children. This is Anurita ma'am, and I'm back with another video for you all. Now, in the past, you have done with this chapter which we had finished. There are many issues with children, like they are not understanding. Children, I have told you before also, democratic in the contemporary world is not coming in our syllabus, so we will not do this. We had done this chapter, what is democracy and why democracy. You had a CA also in this chapter. Now we are going to start with constitutional design. I hope this is clear with everybody now. This is not coming. Chapter 2 we have done, and now chapter 3 we have to start today. So a part of this chapter taken today. But before starting our session, let's quickly have a small little prayer for our family and our world. Close your eyes. Oh Lord, thank you for everything, all the blessings you have given to us. Thank you for this beautiful day, our family, our teachers, and everybody, Lord, all the blessings. You have kept us safe in this such a horrible condition outside, Lord, where there is disease, there is pain, there are worries outside. You have kept us safe in your hands. Bless us, Lord, and help us in every way, Lord Jesus. Thank you. Amen. Okay, so this was a short prayer that we have done. Thank God for whatever uh, blessings He has given to us. Now, children, this is our Political Science Class 9, Chapter 3. We are going to start today, Constitutional Design. Okay. Now, we studied in the previous chapter that in a democracy, the rulers are not free to do what they like. So we did what is democracy, then we did how it is brought in, what are the features, what are merits and demerits. We studied about democracy, and in that we had studied that the rulers are not free to do whatever they do like, right? There are certain basic rules that the citizens and government both have to follow. Now, all such rules together are called constitution. We know we have a book of law where all the rules, regulations, duties, it is written for us, for all the citizens as well for the government also. Now, this constitution determines the rights of citizens, the powers of the government, and how the government should function. These points have been kept in mind, that citizens are also given an important part, government how to rule, what powers has to given to them, how it has to be executed, and how the government should function. So all these three major parts have been given in the constitution for a proper functioning of the government. As we all know and we have done several times. Now these questions arises, right? What questions? Why do we need a constitution? How is the constitution drawn up? Means why there is a need. Why do we actually want any constitution? The government can work like this also, but we need some base, the rules and regulations, the powers, the limitations. That is the reason the constitution is needed there. Then how is the constitution drawn up? How it is framed? Who frames it? What is the base? On what scenario, what points it is being made? Then who designs them? And in what way? What is the procedure? What is the pattern? Who designs? Who are the people? Then can we make changes later? Can the constitution rights and duties made can be changed later on as required? When it comes to practical use, there are many flaws. When we have a need of changing those rules and regulations, then can we change it again? So all these, there are many other questions keep on coming, etc., etc., that everything about constitution, why it is needed, who frames it, what is the importance, what is if changes can be made or not. So all these questions do arise. Now to study it better, then why do we need a constitution? We need to understand, right? So first is, it generates a degree of trust and coordination that is necessary for different kind of people to live together. Why this is important? Because we live in India, especially we're talking about our own country, a diverse country where so many people of different religion, regions, backgrounds living together. So, such a big territory to be administered by someone, it's very important. So, to generate a degree of trust should be there. Coordination, the way the people work should be coordinated, balanced. That is necessary for different kind of people to live together. So, for this coordination, the constitution is needed. Second, it specifies how the government will be constituted, who will have power to take which decisions. This powers distribution is very important. Who are the heads? What limits are there? The proper procedure, the proper level of representatives. This is very important. So, to specify how the government will be constituted and who will have power to take which decisions. Third, it lays down limits on a powers of the government, limits the powers of the government, and tells us what are the rights of the citizen. So, both ways it is working. It is having a proper procedure, rules and regulations for the government to follow. Same way it is having our rights and duties for citizens as well. So both ways it can run. If both, like parallel tracks of the railway, they go together, same way the government and citizens have to be in proper coordination. So for this coordination, proper limits are set for the government and proper rights and duties have been given to the citizens, so that proper functioning is there. Clear? Now for that, it expresses the aspirations of the people about creating a good society. It is very important to create a good society, because where we are living, if you are not peaceful, you are not living in harmony, then what will happen? You will have lot of resentment in yourself. You will not feel good. You will have so much of worries and irritations as well. So to be a part of good society is very important for the government and citizens to both of them work together. Okay, so then this is a simpler way, a very simple manner. We have seen this in 4 parts, where constitution is very important, where it gives a coordination, a background, a base for coordination. Then a trust is made between the government. Now what is happening in today's scenario, whatever is happening outside the lockdown we are sitting in, we all people are what, respecting uh, the request which the government has made us, that do not go out as there is a problem of the virus outside. So to control it, the main thing which is now is to stay home and stay safe. So the government is wanting us to do that, and we are doing that. So this collaboration, this coordination is very important to have a good society. Are you understanding? So that is where constitution is needed. So all these points are already there. Government has to look on to the interest of the people, the citizens of that country. Then it specifies the government that who, properly who has to be representative, who can be eligible, the proper criteria are made there. So all these things together tell us that why do we need a constitution. Then making of the Indian constitution, we know India a diverse country. The country was born through a partition on the basis of religious differences. Now India and Pakistan partition which happened, we all know, we have studied in the class 8, the previous class you had done this time. So we had seen the turmoil the society was facing at that time. There was a religious difference on a big majority base in these two countries, and then to administer such a panic situation was really difficult for the government of India, right? So at that time, coming up with constitution, a new framework of laws, was also very challenging for the government as well for the people. So for the government to frame it and for the people to actually accept it. Are you understanding? So India, a diverse country, where it was done when there was a turmoil, because there was a partition of this place where thousands of people, millions of people had been killed, right? So that time, lot of confusion, lot of misery were there, and at the same time we also the people started thinking about proper administration of India. So then in 1928, Motilal Nehru and 8 other Congress leaders, INC, Indian National Congress, drafted a constitution for India. So Motilal Nehru took the initiative. He was given the responsibility to draw these laws for constitution. It was started in 1928. Okay, so before independence only, when Britishers were about to leave our country and give us in our own hands, somehow we could make out. So the INC started planning on these laws. So it was far behind before our independence, right? Because we have independence in 1947 and it is in 1928. So all this started, the drafting, basically the making of laws and procedures, started in 1928 only, which was headed by Motilal Nehru. And he had 8 INC members also with him in this initiative which he took. The major things which was looked after was universal adult franchise, that every citizen had to be given importance. This was very important. So this was there. Then right to freedom, which was very important. In the past we have seen the Britishers exploited us. There in the past, Russian and French Revolution, we have seen the dictators had exploited people. So right of freedom is very important. If we talk about South Africa, the apartheid, the difference between the whites and the blacks, so right to freedom and equality has been a major topic to be discussed in the past. So this was the main scenario, and equality and freedom, which is very important because India was a diverse country, right? People living of different backgrounds, different religions, and there were so much special differences between religious background. So at this time, equality was given the most important base. Okay, then protecting the rights of minorities are those people who are lesser in number in a society. So keeping them in mind, keeping every citizen equal, giving to right of freedom and equality, all these things were given equal importance in framing the constitution. Okay, now to frame this, Constituent Assembly was made. It is an assembly of elected representatives, right? And the Constituent Assembly that wrote Indian Constitution had 299 members. This you have to remember, children, that where our constitution was framed, then this Constituent Assembly had 299 members. This assembly adopted constitution on 26th November 1949, right? And then constitution came into effect on 26th January 1950. Okay, so it was adopted, it was drafted when the making started in 1928, right? Then the Constitution Assembly, where there were 299 members, they kept on thinking about, there were so many flaws which was coming every time, and then they were rectifying these flaws. So this drafting and the procedure of making and again dissolving, again making, again dissolving, kept on working for so many years, and finally it was adopted on 26th of November 1949. 1947 we had achieved our independence. So, and then constitution came into effect, it came into people. It was regulated on 26th January 1950. So these 3 dates are very important. You need to understand the day of the year of drafting, the year of adoption, and the year of effect, means coming in the society. And this day we celebrate every year as Republic Day. Okay, so in this particular video, I will take Constituent Assembly in the next video. For now, this is the introduction to this chapter, that why do we need democracy, why do we need constitution and how it is designed. Just an introduction to it. Today's IP is what is constitution. You can write in your own words. You can take help from your PDF which has been already forwarded to you all. Then why do we need a constitution? Another very important question of the chapter. What is constitution? Why there's a need? Why do we need? And then when was our constitution drafted? So these 3 drafted I have asked you. So these 3 have to be answered. This is your IP today. Okay children, so we've taken constitutional design today, where we studied that what were the basic things we have to understand, that we came up with the questions which we have done, like the problems, whatever, why do we need it. Then we discussed about why do we need a constitution through these points, and then we saw that how it was drafted, who drafted it, and then the journey started keeping these things in mind. And then 299 members were there in the Constituent Assembly, which they adopted the drafted constitutions by again and again rectifying, dissolving, and making them again and again. Finally, on 26 November, they adopted these in 49, and then it came into effect in 1950. Okay children, so do your IP well. Send me in the Google Classroom. There are many who are still not sending their IPs there, and the IPs are found. I have been checking them regularly. Okay children, so watch this video, study them well. Have a nice day. Thank you.